Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory. Hay fever is absolutely killing me today. Pollen, it's that time of the year, it's that season. May is terrible for hay fever. Yeah, I suffer a lot. And yeah, mind my nose and my face if I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Interesting live stream today because I think we have to go through the midfield hunt. I think Thiago Pinto, and you can definitely see this by the rumors that you're reading online, by the articles that you're reading online, you can definitely tell that Thiago Pinto's first objective in the summer window is the midfield section. You can definitely tell this by the fact that we secretly almost pulled the award deal off, and now that you're reading a lot of rumors of a lot of different players, which are midfielders, which Roma want to sign. So yeah, why not go through them, speak about some rumors, and all of that. Interesting live stream today. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and yeah, you know where I want to start. I want to start with what I think will happen. I think, and I've said this again, but in these past few days there have been many new subscribers. I'm gonna say this again. You will definitely spot a pattern when you look at all these rumors, and some people may hate this pattern and some people may love this pattern. And this pattern is that the majority of the players that we're interested in at this stage are free agents. And again, this is something which we've said many times due to the FFP sanctions which have been imposed against us. Therefore, what does that mean? That does not mean that we will only sign free agents, but that does mean that a vast amount of the players which we will buy are going to be free agents. The way that we are going to spend money is basically linked to the amount of money we get. That is basically what the FFP sanction is all about. And I know I've said this 88 times, but I'm going to say it an 89th time, because there are new people here which probably don't know that FFP has sanctioned us. So the more money we get from the players we sell, and yeah, all the things behind the scenes, TV rights and merchandise, but mainly the players we sell, we can then reinvest in the players we buy. And it's as simple as that. I think there are there's a lot of mistakes to avoid that we've made in other transfer windows. Life is all about re-updating and being better. And there are a lot of mistakes which we've made over the past centuries. And one of the biggest mistakes was to sign, by spending quite a lot of money, useless players, which then we devalued and we cannot resell for the amount or even more of what we paid. And that is the problem. That's the problem, and that is exactly why FFP has targeted us. But speaking about the midfield section, I think Thiago Pinto started its hunt. I think you read a lot of different names around the media, and you can definitely tell that our midfield transfer window is getting shape. It's getting shaped, it's being modeled. Thiago Pinto's grabbing some ideas, Thiago Pinto's grabbing information, and it's good at this stage. At this stage, we've said it many times, the priority is not the transfer window. We're such a vital and crucial part of the season that it would be a mistake to kind of make the transfer window our priority. But effectively, what Thiago Pinto gets paid for is exactly this. So it's good that he's gathering information, and all of that. And you can tell that the first section which he has to improve, which he wants to improve, is the midfield. I think, and due to the fact that football is evolving in a way that the midfield section is going to be the most dominant section, it's logic that we are starting our transfer hunt in the midfield section. Obviously, we have Matic, Cristante. There's a question mark on Gini. He could be there. He maybe not be there. And obviously, you have to also add Aouar, who is almost done. Nothing has been signed yet. But obviously, it's a work in progress. Apparently, as we said a few weeks ago, he's underwent medical checkups in Rome secretly. So that kind of suggests to me that Aouar will be our first signing of the season. Do I think we have to stop after signing Aouar? Absolutely not. We need more players, especially in that midfield. We need that box-to-box midfielder, which we always talk about, and we need if possibly, defensive midfielder. Actually, no. I'd actually argue we need a creative midfielder more than a defensive midfielder. Excuse me there. We don't need a defensive. I mean, it'd be great if we can get one, but I don't think it's a priority. I think Cristante and Matic have been playing so well lately, and anybody who says vice versa hasn't been watching all the games. Cristante and Matic have been playing phenomenally lately. That the defensive midfielder is not a priority. It's box to box / creative to put next to Aouar and Dybala. And yeah, the midfielder hunt starts. And we've got a few players which are showing interest in. The first player which I want to talk about is Tielemans. I know we spoke about Tielemans 2 days ago, but I have an update on the Tielemans situation. And it's a positive update because apparently his agent has proposed Tielemans to us, which again is different. It's a step up because one thing is the team showing interest in the player, and one thing is the team showing interest in the player plus the agent proposing him to us. So effectively what the agent is doing is he's going to leave Leicester, he's going to become a free agent. I know that team over there is very interested in free agents. I know that my player, as an agent, I know that Tielemans is very attracted to the Roma project. Let's propose him to the team. And this is a big step up. This is a big step up because you're having the two parts collaborating together. And you're not just yourself isolated going, oh, I love the guy. You have the two parts getting closer to each other. Nothing, again, is confirmed yet. Tielemans, out of all of these players, which I'm probably going to name today, is the one which, without a doubt, will have the biggest competition, especially because he's a Premier League player. He's shown very good stats in the Premier League as a box-to-box midfielder. He has scored 18 goals in his whole adventure at Leicester. He's got a great, powerful shot. This season, he's had a bad injury, which is one of the reasons why his stats have been poor this season. I would love Youri Tielemans at Roma. I am not joking here. I would love him. I think getting Aouar on a free, getting Tielemans on a free, immediately, automatically, drastically improves your midfielder section. And I don't mean by a little, I mean by a lot. Tielemans is one of those players who fits the Premier League environment. He is physical, and he's one of those box-to-box midfielders who loves scoring. That's what the Premier League does. If you bring one of these players with these characteristics in this area, he is going to smash it. It's written in it's a law. It's a law of football. So I think he is going to smash it in this area. We are not the only Italian team interested in Tielemans. Juventus are interested in Tielemans. However, Juventus, it's a crucial moment for them. It's a critical moment for them because most probably they're going to be banned from European tournaments next season. And second of all, with all of this scandal, they are forced to sell players. So, and obviously, add the fact that we've got Mourinho on the bench, something can happen with Tielemans. I would absolutely love it. I cannot fully process because I would absolutely love Tielemans in the middle. I think he'd smash it. And yeah, we have had a step, an update from the last time we spoke about him because his agent proposing him to us is a big thing. It could be a turning point in the deal. Let's call it like this. So yeah, the first question to everyone in the chat is thoughts on Tielemans. It's the first player we've examined, and yeah, he's the first player which we've examined today. So first question to everyone in the chat is thoughts on Youri Tielemans. Second player is Kessiè. Now I am reading that Amrabat does not like Kessiè. I am mixed on him. I think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, but I kind of agree with Amrabat on the fact that it's not his age, it's his fitness, which is a big question mark. Kessiè's fitness has been poor, and it would be wrong for us to kind of neglect this. He's been poor. However, I think we have been kind of tricked by the fact that Kessiè has not been playing much at Barcelona. Yes, part of it is due because of his fitness, but we'd be fools to say that it's only because of that. Kessiè did not have many minutes at Barcelona for two main reasons, in my opinion. The first main reason is because, if you remember very well, at the start, when Barcelona signed Kessiè, they had financial issues, and there were a few months where technically they couldn't sign him and they couldn't give him a contract. Because Barcelona are well known for all of these scandals. In fact, the latest one was with Pablo Gavi, who now renewed the contract. You know, Barcelona are very famous in signing a lot of players, and then a lot of them don't get contracts and kind of have to be ruled out. So at the start of his Barcelona career, that was the problem with him. Under the laws of La Liga, he couldn't play for Barcelona. Then Barcelona sorted things out, and obviously he scored that winning goal in the Clásico a few months ago. You know, I think it's not just his fitness. His fitness hasn't been great. I agree on that. And the second reason why he's not been playing well is, to be fair, a very logic reason. When you've got Pedri, Gavi, and all of these players in a team like Barcelona, Kessiè doesn't get chances. And I don't blame Xavi. You know, when you've got so many interesting players, so many young players who are going to be the future of the game, it's hard to see Kessiè be a starting player in that team. I think, general comment on Kessiè, just initially him going to Barcelona just didn't make sense. I think he had to stay at Milan. He had a few disputes with the fans. The fans didn't like his behaviour and all of that. I think he has to stay in the league. I think a few years ago, he smashed it in this league. You know, I remember when Milan fans called him Il Generale. You know, that's a big nickname. He was a beast at Milan. And as Roma fans, we have to agree on this. Kessiè at Milan was a beast. He scored goals and he was a general beast. The one player in the Serie A right now which resembles Kessiè a lot is Amrabat from Fiorentina. Both of them are ginormous, which obviously gives a massive boost on that midfielder fight and that physicality and all of that. I don't mind him. I agree on everyone here. I'd rather go with Tielemans. If we have a chance to sign both of them, sign both of them. But again, I also think it would be a mistake for Thiago Pinto to just buy midfielders. We don't want to get into that season where we have our midfielder section completely saturated. You know, so what I'm trying to say is we need more midfielders, and we are going to buy more midfielders, but we can't focus just on midfielders, because what will be the conclusion is that we're going to have a saturated midfield section, and then players are going to demand for more game time. Players are going to be grumpy because they're not playing enough, too many rotations, and all of that. So out of the two, I'd go Tielemans, but any of the two I think would improve it. And also the thing with Kessiè, which is an obstacle, is that he earns a lot of money at Barcelona. 7 million euros at Barcelona is a lot. Just to give you a perspective, not even Dybala in this team earns 7 million euros. We can turn Dybala's salary into 7 million euros by eliminating his release clause, which is something which Thiago Pinto is working on, and which we will have a lot of key updates in the future in these next few days and weeks. But I think, yeah, for him to join Roma, he has to decrease that salary, those wages. And yeah, that's the Kessiè situation. And the third player is Reiss Nelson, which I know is more of a winger slash. He's a similar player to El Shaarawy, I think, when it comes to fitting in a system. He's not a midfield. He's not an attacker. He's not necessarily a winger. He's a very versatile player. Reiss Nelson is a bowler. Reiss Nelson is one of those classic players which has a lot of talent, but because Arsenal doesn't give him enough game time, he's never really shown all the talent he has. And that's why that's obviously why he got loaned out to Feyenoord last season, and Feyenoord played against us in the Conference League final. I think Reiss Nelson is one of those classic players which demands more game time and wants to play more games, but having him in your team completely changes the squad depth situation. And it's very similar to El Shaarawy. I think El Shaarawy a few months ago was in a very similar position to Reiss Nelson. El Shaarawy has incredible talent, incredible technique, but we started starting El Shaarawy in games a few months ago. At the start of the season, even last season, El Shaarawy never played. And that is why, right now, he's one of the most vital players in our team. Reiss Nelson is the same. And if you have two very similar players, like El Shaarawy and Reiss Nelson in your team, similar style of career, again, I wouldn't mind none of these players. I'm happy that we are being linked with these players, because as things stand, there is not one of these players I would completely discard out of my options. I think all of the players, obviously, we have preferences. I'd always have Tielemans in compared to Kessiè and Nelson. And maybe a few people would rather have Kessiè than Tielemans and Nelson. Or maybe some people would have Nelson rather than Tielemans. Everyone, it's free to have their own opinion on this. But we can all agree that each one out of these three players is going to improve our team. And ultimately, that's the goal. Well, that's what the transfer market is used for. Spending money to improve your team. And this is also a reason why I want everyone... Because you see, I think, again, please don't take this as, oh, Simon just wants free agents. Absolutely not. I agree with everyone here. We have to invest money. But obviously, we're in a position where if we can get interesting free agents, I wouldn't complain because FFP is against us. Therefore, what I'm trying to put out here is that if you study your findings well, if you back your studies and all of that for free agents, you can get good players as free agents. Again, I want the team to spend more money. This is not me trying to say, oh, we should base the entire transfer window on free agents. No, absolutely not. We can't do that. But signing a free agent does not mean signing a shit player, which I think is something which a lot of people here tend to follow as an ideology. You can get a lot of very interesting players without spending money. That does not mean that we can't and don't have to spend money. Because the more money we get from the players we sell, we can all reinvest it. You see what I mean? And let me know if you agree on this. Nelson is interesting. Might not be super consistent though, due to the fact that he's been playing poor amount of games. Little amount of games. But the thing on Reiss Nelson is that Milan and Atalanta are both interested in him. I think if Tammy stays, Reiss Nelson will choose us because Nelson and Tammy are like best friends. So if Tammy stays and Nelson has to pick one of the three teams, I would sign my name. He would go for Roma because of the fact that his best friend plays there. And then one last thing which I'll say, now that we're speaking about transfers, is that I'm not gonna give opinions on this whatsoever. But just to put it out there, you've probably read it online. Liverpool and his agents have apparently offered Joel Matip to Roma. I'm not saying anything. It's just a rumor which has been launched there, and I'm not going to give my opinion on it. I'm going to end the stream because I have got an 18th birthday party tonight. Stadium tomorrow, so hopefully a stadium vlog will go out. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Hopefully it's going to be an interesting one. It's a crucial game tomorrow. If you missed the match preview, make sure to go watch it with the predicted 11, betting tips, and just preparation for tomorrow's game. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and let me know in the comments of this video your thoughts on these three players, which one you prefer. And yeah, Simon, what are your thoughts on Rovella? Any thoughts for centre mid? Not bad, but I'd rather Tielemans. I think Tielemans is my favorite one here. I would love Tielemans. Rovella's not bad, but he's a similar player to Frattesi. Out of Rovella and Frattesi, I'd go Frattesi just because his heart is red and yellow. But yeah, catch you tomorrow. Enjoy tonight, and I'll catch you soon. Simon at